talk about the match, let's talk about everything leading up to the match as well. And let's initially just talk about Ragnick, the manager Ralph Ragnick. Ralph Ragnick was brought in after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked after a run of very poor form. You remember Liverpool, City, Watford was the last season they got it. And then Gary came in and sort of steadied the ship, helped us qualify for the round of 16. Very good win against Villarreal away from home. That was just showing that these players do have it in them to win it. And then there was this really rough patch of form that United hit during January and February because we never found the consistency that we had under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer even last season or the season before that because we were winning a match and then we were just going back to poor form. We got knocked out by Middlesbrough, we got beaten by teams like Wolves, we got beaten by teams like we drew versus Villa, and then there have been so many matches where United have come this close to losing, but somehow drew or won, and United just have not found the consistency that we needed. A few wins here and there, and also the City result a few days ago, the 4-1 result. The scoreline may have been disheartening, but it was even more disheartening to watch the match and realize how these players just gave up in the last 10-15 minutes. But one of the biggest deterrents of this season has been probably Cristiano Ronaldo's form before the hat trick last match, of course. He's also not hit the consistent levels that he hit probably under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the beginning of his Manchester United return. And that's been something that bothered the team a lot, considering he is one of our talisman. And Bruno Fernandes has been pretty good, not bad, but according to his standards, he can do so much better. United have also been plagued by injuries. We've let few players go out on loan, and our defense has just not been sturdy with David De Gea saving us most of the time. There are a lot of structural problems in this team, and I feel at least that Ragnick, after coming in, has done some good with a few players, and there has been a few players who stood out for me. One of the biggest positives still now has been Jadon Sancho hitting form. We already knew that he was a baller at Dortmund. He is very highly rated. He did it for England as well, not at the Euros, but he did do it for England before, and it was very clear and evident that Jadon Sancho would come good, and it's really pleasing to see that he is coming good now. Also, after Ragnick has come in, one of the revelations has been Anthony Elanga, who was not really considered as an option under Ole, which is surprising to see because Ragnick, ever since the very first match, he did bring him on in the 60th minute when United were drawing nil-nil, which shows that he does have faith in this player. So that's something good that Ragnick has done. A lot of players have totally transformed under Ragnick. Dallo, one of them, Fred, one of them, even Alex Telles is doing his bit. He has his deficiencies, but he is doing his bit, which is good to see. And United have sort of maybe hit form now, considering that we did win the last match 3-2, courtesy of Ronaldo hat trick, but the whole team sort of did play well. It was not a bad team performance. So who knows? Maybe this Atletico match will be one where we carry over that Tottenham form. But the biggest factor for me now has to be that we have to keep Cristiano Ronaldo in form. We've seen what he did with a few days of rest, and that's just how you have to manage a 37-year-old. I've been saying it from the beginning of the season. I've been saying it from the beginning since he came in. He's 36. He was 36 then. He's 37 now. That you have to manage a 36, 37-year-old in such a way that they will be able to optimize their performances. And that comes from probably dropping them a few matches or resting them a few matches or bringing them on in the 60th minute. This has not been helped by Edinson Cavani being injured or injury prone or whatever his case is. And the less we talk about Mason Greenwood, the better. So maybe now with the business end coming in, Ralph Ragnick has his options at hand. Maybe hopefully Cavani can stay fit. Hopefully we can count on Elanga. Hopefully we can count on Marcus Rashford coming back to form. So we can rest these players. We can rest our main players and have them at their optimum for the biggest matches, be it in the Champions League, be it in the Premier League, considering that we have played 29 matches and there's only 9 left, and the Champions League matches that are left. So it's going to be a busy end to the season, and it's just going to be all depends on how the manager, which is Ralph Ragnick, manages these players, how he manages the rotation, and how our players stay fit. It's been a disappointing season all around, considering that United, at the very beginning of the season, it was expected that United would possibly challenge for the league title this season, and That's clearly not been the case, and it's disappointing. But it's football. That happens. United, who knows when they'll be back? But we can just hope that they can finish the season off on a high. Um, the match tonight, though, the first leg in Madrid, it was disappointing to say the least. It was a very disappointing performance from Bruno Fernandes. It was a very disappointing performance from all of the United players, all of the United forwards. The defense was okay. The defense wasn't that bad because United just conceded one goal, and that was a possibly you could say Maguire's fault, but not really because Felix was it was a very fast cross and he got his head to it. Kudos to him. It was a very good goal. But the way that United uh, sort of they were saved by an Anthony Langa winner, sorry, equalizer, and that was not convincing enough. We expect better from this team. We expect better from Ralph Ragnick's men, and hopefully they will do better this time. Today's match, though, it's going to be very difficult because we know Atletico Madrid are very tough to break down. They haven't been at their best this season, but they're still a very solid defense considering the way that Diego Simeone sets up his team. So it's going to be interesting to see how United set up. We have all of our options back. Bruno Fernandes he had COVID, but he's back. We have Scott McTominay back. We have Edinson Cavani was back. Obviously, he played in the last match, and maybe Ralph could try a take a two-striker formation, playing both of his veterans up front, or he could count on the informed Jadon Sancho and his trump card, which is Anthony Langa. It's still to be seen, but I can expect United to feel a very creative uh, lineup today because Atletico Madrid are a very tough team to break down, and their low block is going to require all of the lock pickers that we have, and that does include Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba hasn't been in the best form, but we can still expect him to play today, and hopefully he does step up because he's a he's a superstar. He's a world class player on his day, and we expect him to have his days on the days that the team does need him. So for me, this is a predicted lineup almost. We could see this lineup today. We could see Ronaldo up front because it's the Champions League. He's Mr. Champions League. Pogba on the left. Maybe who knows? That's where he did play his best football last season. Bruno in the central attacking midfielder position. Obviously, he is fit. He will play. We have Sancho on the right, who's been excellent till now. He's hit form, and we can expect Rashford to come off the bench. McTominay is back, and we will need his physical presence today, considering that Matic did play the last match, and we can't depend on Matic's legs to carry him over to another match in 3 days. Fred and the back four is Telles, Varane, Maguire, Dallo, and David De Gea as usual. Telles, I'm putting Telles there because Telles was in the press conference yesterday. So when a player does it at press conference, it's pretty evident that he will play, and we can make use of his crosses as well. So it's going to be a tough match. Obviously, it's a Champions League match. It's going to be tough. It's at home, but if our home record this season is anything to go by, then it's not going to be easy for us. But we're still hoping for the best, hoping that United fix up, hoping that Cristiano Ronaldo does his thing, what he does in the Champions League, what he does versus Atletico Madrid always. I'm optimistic. Let's see the result. It's going to be important for United to win today. We haven't reached the quarterfinals since Ole's interim times in 2019. It's been a very long time for a club of this stature, and we have to aim to go as deep as we can. It's anyone's game. It's anyone's game to win. So hoping that United do make the most of their chances, and hoping that United do win today, and we finally hit some form before the season ends. A disappointing season nonetheless, but all's well that ends well, hopefully. So hoping that United do win, hoping that the next video I make is going to be for the quarterfinals, whoever we draw, if we do go through. Signing out.